emergence of social media is something that we truly cannot deny at this point, even though it emerged in a very, very quick manner. A lot of times, if you ask people how long social media has been around, you will be surprised. They will tell you really, really long numbers, high numbers, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Quite often because when this person was born, social media was already a thing. And so to them, it feels like this was always around. In reality, if you go back and look at the numbers, the emergence of social media in a very heavy manner only started about 10 to 15 years ago. If you went back to 20, 25 years ago, things would have looked very, very different in the world. If you look at popular platforms like Twitter or like Instagram or like TikTok, you will see many of them came around in the 2000s. And before that, they did not really exist. But at the same time that we look at this emergence, and in many ways it is very, very sudden due to the technological progress that the human being is experiencing as we speak, it is an important platform that needs to be addressed. And the reality is that today, when we learn about our faith and when we learn about our religion, for most people, a lot of their understanding comes from this platform. Yes, the mimbar is a platform in and of itself. It will always be a platform in and of itself. It will always carry that importance because it's a practice that the Messenger of Allah established. The mimbar of the Messenger of Allah in Medina will always have the impact that it has today. But nonetheless, there are other platforms that have come into the picture. And the reality is, at the same time, Muslim representation on these platforms is also important. When you have Muslim influencers, it's not all cons and it's not all flaws that they carry. There are also quite a number of benefits that come from your youth opening his social media app to see a Muslim influencer engaging in this aspect of life or that aspect of life, in a Muslim influencer humanizing Muslims around the world. There are real life benefits to having Muslim influencers. And therefore, our approach cannot be one of fundamentally criticizing the practice in and of itself categorically. Rather, we want to provide a framework so that if someone wants to go down this route, or if someone is consuming this media, they understand the blind spots that exist when it comes to this topic. Therefore, tonight, we want to get a little bit deeper into some of those blind spots, some of those flaws that can be found in this world and that will remain hidden unless we are aware of them. And in order to delve into this topic, we'll pose the following questions. Number one, what is the difference between a Muslim influencer and an Islamic influencer? And if a Muslim influencer engages in different things online, does that mean that he represents the Islamic perspective on that issue? Number two, what do the verses of the Quran tell us about the danger and the sensitivity of carrying influence over others? Is influence and having influence over others something that is considered positive in Islam? Or is it something that is considered negative? Or is it something that is considered neutral from the Islamic perspective? Number three, what instances do we see of Muslim influencers, many times with good intentions, giving their opinion on different life matters, different issues in society from a spiritual and religious perspective? And in reality, in those moments, that influencer is actually going against the teachings of the religion of Islam. And number four, how can we avoid this problem if we decide to go down this route? If I want to go down this field, or I have a friend who's already active on social media, what is one step or one piece of advice that I can take into consideration to avoid this situation where I end up saying things or promoting things that actually go against the teachings of Islam? And number five, and finally, is it a good way of approaching social media to build a brand off of drama and ruffling feathers? Is this something that Islam encourages, or is it something that Islam frowns upon? And controversy, is that something that Islam has encouraged us to engage in, or has it only told us to go in that direction when there is a greater purpose involved? And how do we see this in the seerah of our beloved third Imam in the plains of Karbala. Tonight, inshallah, we'll delve into these 5 questions with a loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. Let's begin from here. When we say Muslim influencer, a lot of people, what they hear is Islamic influencer. There is a big difference between a Muslim influencer and an Islamic influencer. A Muslim influencer is that person who has embraced the faith of Islam. Either they're born into it or they revert to it afterwards. Not everything they do actually represents the teachings of Islam. And this is something that our community and our younger generation struggles to understand. Why? Because this is a blind spot in the back of our minds. When we start to pay attention to it and become aware of it, it's easier to digest. But unless we pay attention to it, you will see that quite often people will look at this Muslim influencer and automatically assume this is how things are supposed to be done. This is what Islam tells us to do. When I was growing up, we also used to look up to cultural icons in society. For us, in our generation, it was athletes. Athletes were the people who carried the most weight and the most authority in society. Maybe more than presidents, maybe more than politicians. If an athlete did something, everybody wanted to do things the way this athlete did it. And for us, it was easier to separate between the different aspects of the life of this athlete. Why? Because he wasn't Muslim. Quite often, he didn't carry the faith of Islam. And because of that, I could have related to his excellence when it came to the basketball court or the soccer field or whatever area he was active in, without looking at all of the aspects of his life and saying this is Islamic. He didn't carry the Islamic faith. So for me, it was easier to separate these different aspects of his life. Say, you know what? I really like how this guy plays his game. I really like how he does things professionally. Personally is a separate discussion. He's not Muslim. He doesn't do things the way Islam does things. It was easier for us. But now when you're dealing with someone who's a Muslim influencer, he looks just like you. He might pray like you. He might fast like you. He might dress like you. She's celebrating her house and decorating her house for Eid, just like I'm doing right now. And she's teaching her children about Muharram the same way I'm teaching my children about Muharram right now. And he's talking about Ramadan the same way I'm talking about Ramadan right now. And so this differentiation, this separation between the two of these things and these two aspects of the life of this person, it becomes a little bit more difficult. And because it is so difficult for people and you and I to separate between what this person does professionally and what this person represents in terms of their own character, this is why you see the type of reaction people have when a Muslim influencer goes down the wrong route, when he does something wrong, something that everybody knows it is wrong. You will see the reaction sometimes people have. So this male influencer decides to now engage in haram gathering. He starts posting this. This now becomes part of his brand. People start reacting to it. This sister, she decides to take off her hijab. Even though when she was building her brand, hijab was a part of it. Now she decides to take off her hijab. Okay, so personally she's going through different developments, different phases, so on and so forth. You will see a part of the reason why people react in such a harsh way is because subconsciously they had assumed that what this person is doing is supposed to be Islamic. And now they're realizing, oh, it's not. So now I have to react to this. Like, you just shook my world. But hold on. If you had understood from the very beginning that this person doesn't represent Islam, this person is a Muslim, he or she is going through the phases of life the same way you go through phases of life. This person's also trying to figure out life as life continues. Then if they go down the wrong route, yes, you say you're not happy about it. So, well, that's that person. The very fact that we can't separate is part of the reason why you and I react to things in this way. Now, of course, what that person is doing is wrong, But you see this reaction from people. It's like they took away from this person a role model. Why was this person a role model for you to begin with? Who said this person represents Islam anyways? And if social media influencers are your role model and my role model, then we have bigger problems. There's a deeper issue here. So the first thing to understand is that that person doesn't represent Islam, brothers and sisters. Okay. But now let us move on to some of the fundamental issues that we find. When someone gets into this field or is consuming this content, the first, most important, or the biggest mistake that's made in this area is that we underestimate, brothers and sisters, the danger of influence. Influence is a scary thing. Oh no, but Sheikh, I was told influence is like this really cool thing because people like stuff when you post it and everybody gets to see it and everybody comments what they think about it. No, no, no. Influence is a dangerous thing. That's how Islam talks about it. Islam talks about influence like a double-edged sword. And a lot of people will always tell you this. Yes, Sheikh, I understand influence and having an impact on people is neither positive or negative. It depends what you do with it. This is what they'll tell you. They'll tell you it's like a knife. You can kill someone with it, God forbid, or you can do surgery and save someone's life. We've all heard this example before, yes? But my question is, when this person is engaging with his following, do you see him acting like he's carrying a knife in his hands? Or do you see someone reckless? Do you see someone who's just having fun? Do you see someone who's just posting as if it's not a big deal? I'll say something, and then, 5 years down the road, if I realize this was wrong, I'll come back and change it. No, no, no. If you're an influencer, if you're consuming that content, lives are being changed by it. People's lives are being impacted by it. And the impact of social media is only on the rise. It's not on the decline. It's on the rise. Are you understanding that what you have in your hands right now can become the fire that burns you on the day of